Good evening, everyone. It's time to wake up. No more napping. Go ahead and turn all your phones and electronic devices off to vibrate. And I'm going to ask Mr. McDaniel to please open in prayer and pledge.
Heavenly Father, Psalms 139. Search us, Heavenly Father, and know our hearts. Test us and know our thoughts. And if there's any degree of anger, hostility, hypocrisy, anything self-serving, selfish in our hearts, in our thoughts, we pray that you'll soften those hearts and change our ways to ways that better serve the citizens of Ballinger, and so that we'll find the way to life eternal and everlasting. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bob. All right, consider approval of the minutes of the October 1st, 2018 meeting, please.
Need to get the city administrator name fixed. Go ahead, Randy Everett in there.
What was that, Jason?
So is Randy Everett as the interim city manager, city administrator. Please get that corrected, that's all I saw.
And Tommy, I think my motion on the water meter tapping fee
Yes, sir.
was to leave the other taps the same, but to increase the 3/4 to 5-inch tap.
We changed everything except the first one. Let me go to it.
So it says, change the fee from the 3/4 inch to the,
So instead of 500 on the proposed rate,
300 to 400.
we went to 400.
Right. But wasn't it my motion to leave the others the same?
That's what it says, and approve all other proposed rates.
Approve all other proposed rates. The proposed rates are in the column on the right.
It was my understanding that we,
That's
should, the proposed rate
Change
should
that
read
one.
400. The proposed rate should read 400.
right. And then we went up on the 1-inch tap, 2-inch tap, and 4-inch. No. That was my understanding.
Okay, all right.
So you want to change that to 400?
So my motion was to go up from 3 to 400 and leave the others the same.
Okay.
Well, in the following column, Bob, I think that's what they did, but they just didn't do it here.
Well, no, what he's saying that this would be the same
Correct. Correct. And then this one was changed.
to 400.
Right. So what I'm saying is, it's said here in the following column, but we just didn't print it here.
Right.
That's all I said.
Yeah. What he's saying is that he voted to leave these the same and not raise these.
Okay.
That's what he's, that's,
No, that's all we can say, all right? You voted to increase them, right?
No, I voted to increase the one from 3 to 1. That's right.
That was what you're saying.
Yeah, and leave the others the same. But if y'all didn't understand, do you remember, Rick? You seemed like you said.
We're talking about,
Change that one.
We changed this that one.
we just changed that one from 300.
We lowered the residential, I thought you were saying to lower the residential one and increase the larger church, but I could have misunderstood it as well.
I thought we were just changing the 3/4 to 5-inch tap from 300 to 400 instead of 5, and the rest was being left alone.
That's correct.
At the proposed budget, right?
That's proposed.
That's correct.
Okay.
As long as you're cool with that, we'll need to improve
You got to make the rules, like me.
it. No, but what was stated over there is correct, and that's what was my point. But when I read on these minutes, I see the proposed rate is the column on the right, and that was what we debated the last meeting. The proposed rate here, you say, and approve all other proposed rate fees. Well, those have gone up $200 to $400. I want these rate fees to stay the same.
As long as it's voted.
You mean that's what
No,
my motion was?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it's,
it's not worth the time, Sam.
Well, at this time, but I mean, if you want to revisit it and we don't okay it, then we can revisit it.
We can table it.
I mean, these are the minutes. We can't table the minutes.
Well, yeah, we can discuss it though.
Well, it's kind of clearly stated, after discussion, Commissioner Bob McDaniels made the motion to change the fee for the 3/4 5-inch tap from 300 to 400 and approved all other proposed rate fees, which
he
is
said
what
that's
it
not what he
shows.
said. He said that's not what he
I
said.
wanted the others to be left the same.
That's,
So you want them to be left at the presented rate, not the proposed rate?
Correct. But, you know, we got room for the people that's not.
Okay, go.
Understood.
We'll have to revisit that, but that's not
Is that what you understood, though?
what, that's not what
That we
I
were keeping these
at all.
as they were presented?
No.
This one?
No. What we talked about is changing this.
I don't need this here.
Well,
I didn't remember the minutes. I wrote it down there, but I didn't read it.
yeah, we proposed the 400
Right.
versus 500. And his understanding is that we were going to keep the present rate.
Correct.
Without
doing those.
Right.
Correct.
It was our understanding that these were okay. It's this one that changed.
That's right, Thomas.
Well, the
But
proposed,
what column, what do you read in the proposed rate column?
sir,
What do you read on the proposed rate column?
proposed rate.
They've gone up to $400.
Right. It should-
Well, the minutes say, and approve all other proposed rate fees. Well, the proposed rate fees over in this column have gone up $200 to $400.
Right.
I wanted to leave up the first tap the same,
Right.
up at $100 or whatever, and leave the others the same. That was my motion, and Rick seconded that. It's,
That's not the way I'm.
But it was our,
okay, all right.
So we can
It's not
also
worth
review the
it.
video and check it out, right?
well, it was our understanding that you were accepting the new rates on the 3 larger tabs.
and going down on that one,
And then-
400.
Yeah, and then going from 300 to 400 instead of the proposed
It's
300
not
to
on the
500.
agenda, but I'll certainly agree with you on that.
We talked about the big inch pipe, prices going up on getting the big inch pipe.
I just didn't want to drive people away from town with high tap fees, you know.
I understand.
And I made that comment.
You did, yes. I agree.
All right. We're not going to accept the minutes as they're written right now because of the discussion. So we're going to table that until the next meeting, as well as we will review the video from the last meeting as well to make sure we have that correct. If not, we'll put that on the agenda to review
I
again.
appreciate it.
Is that okay?
All right, me.
That's right. Motion to table the minutes as presented, please.
So moved.
Second? All right.
All approved.
All approved? All in favor, sorry? Say it wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's there.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. My tongue is twisted. All right. Visitors who are not on the regular agenda will be given the opportunity to address the council on any subject at this time. As we have a large audience tonight, we will be held at a 2 to 3 minute period during that time unless somebody has a spokesperson. Is there anybody that's going to speak for overall, or is there different issues that are on the agenda that need to be spoken about? Not everybody speak at once. No? Okay. In doing so, I'd like it to say professional, as adults, and mature, please. And this is not personal in any way. Okay? Everybody just has a blank stare. Might get any review back. All right.
I'll start us off. I think that most of us are just here to remind you guys that we're here to support you. Give you some positive feedback. Just because we're not here banging on your door and yelling at your window doesn't mean we don't care. So I think the main reason most of us are here today is to tell you that we care. We care whether we're in the seats or whether we're at home on our couch, but we care.
Always.
And we appreciate what y'all do. It's appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. We try.
I
We
understand.
try really hard.
I understand. Sometimes it's a difficult task, but I understand.
Anyone else?
That's disappointing.
Well, I'm not reading.
I've already had a box of love laced up.
No.
Surely Ginger is something.
Does anybody else have anything that's not on the agenda that they want to discuss or share as
I
an issue?
have one simple little request.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
My fault. Reset the clock.
Could we possibly look into a stop sign on the corner of 9th and Eubank?
Yes, ma'am.
What's
We
there now?
have a huge dip there now, and the cars are practically having to stop to go through that dip, and people are running that yield sign, so it's not safe. And that's all I have on
Anyone else? Oh, come on, that's just not right.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes, ma'am.
If no one else is going to say it, I will. I think that some of the 8th Street businesses as well as other businesses are concerned about the closure of 8th Street without contacting 8th Street businesses.
And for those that don't know, we're not allowed to respond to those that are being spoken because it's on the agenda. So yes, we're writing these things down, and yes, we will discuss them at a later date or further. Anyone else? This big audience and nobody else wants to put it up. All right, thank you all very, very much. We appreciate your comments, and they have been written down. We will look at that as well. Moving along, City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on approving the city holidays for 2019. You should have that in your packet as well. We have to do this every year, so this isn't something that's changed. This is basically the same as been for the last 3 years, 4 years. So this is just basically something we have to run through council every year. Any questions or comments concerning the date? This basically follows along with pretty much, I think, the county and the state.
Standard government also.
So, yeah, standard government, because basically, we're not working when the county or the state's not working. How's that? All right, motion to accept the city holidays for 2019 presented.
Make that motion, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, city council may consider, discuss, or take action to adopt the curfew ordinance for the city of Ballinger. This is the same, we have to do this every year.
Mayor, can I address this?
Yes, sir, please.
Actually, we don't have to do it every year, we have to do it every 3 years.
Okay,
And I have gotten, I've gotten a reminder from TML on these ordinance, a whole lot of ordinance. It
okay,
did not appear that it had been extended following a 3-year period. And Bonita verified she couldn't find, basically every 3 years we have to have a hearing, public hearing on it, discuss the effectiveness of the ordinance, to decide whether to extend it or modify it or terminate it.
okay.
If you don't do that, it expires by its term, so it's expired. And so what this ordinance does, it reestablishes it. I didn't change any of the terms as far as the offenses and defenses and all that.
So Sam, the last update was 04, is that correct?
I remember doing it before then.
You mean after then?
Or after then, sorry, yes, sir.
The last one I could find was 10.
The last one you could find was 2010? Okay.
Were all these whereas things in that one from 10 at the top, whereas?
Is that what you have as the newest copy, or is this the one that you got back?
The only whereas it wasn't, was the last whereas. Benita sent me the ordinance that was adopted in your packet. When y'all pass an ordinance, it looks different than your codification, which goes in your code book. It doesn't have the whereases. And so the only whereas I added was the last one that says, whereas the city council originally established a curfew in 1993 and extended it, but the curfew has expired. That's all I added to that.
Well, I'm kind of offended by the first word. Whereas the city council has determined that there has been an increase in juvenile gang activity, an increase in crime with persons under the age of 17 in the city of Ballinger. What council made that determination, you know, Sam?
I imagine that's how Lynn probably wrote it up.
You know,
You have a different one, Pat, than what we've been using?
He has the model where he
I
added the last one.
drafted a new one. The old ones we put in your packet is my understanding.
Right, the old one.
What got- This thing we've got here is talking about the curfew ordinance and the
That's an
voting
amendment.
procedure dated May the 4th.
Right.
That was the last.
I didn't see it wouldn't- That was the last time, means that the ordinance expired in 2007. So I don't know when it expired. But I added that amendment into the new ordinance, so it's all in the new one.
You didn't have the other one in 2010?
There wasn't a new ordinance, all we put in was that the council reviewed it in 2010 and
Okay.
approved it
As it was written?
And if we had done it every 3 years, you don't have to re-adopt the ordinance, you just say we extend it.
Okay,
And since it expired, we have to re-adopt it.
okay.
So that means we're not taking an action on it tonight? If we have to re-adopt it, I'm asking,
Yeah, I mean, that's,
You're gonna adopt it tonight.
I haven't seen it.
He doesn't have it to it though.
I sent it to Tommy and Benita.
I just don't think that first one defines Ballinger.
Right.
I'll have to get the chief's input on it too, right?
Yeah. You know what it does.
Or the second one either, to be honest with you. Or the second one either. That's kind of demeaning for 17-year-olds. If they like.
Does nobody have the new one?
I don't think so.
I didn't change it.
Nobody, it didn't go out in any packages.
I just sent it today.
Table it in and let us look at it and talk to the chief.
Yeah. You have it?
Oh, yeah.
We'll get it to them, because we're not gonna be able to adopt it.
Okay. Yep. All right, we don't have the new ordinance in place. Nobody has it in their packet, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna table this as well. So I need a motion to table the adoption of the curfew ordinance for the city of Ballinger.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All right, thank you. All right, city council may consider, discuss, or take action on approving a resolution for the finance of a 2006 Pierce mid-mount platform ladder fire truck with Keystone Bank, formerly Ballinger National Bank, Ballinger. You should have the resolution in your packet.
Sam, a correction on the resolution
Yes, sir?
for the purchase of the equipment for the police department.
Say what?
Last sentence.
They'll be cross-training.
Thank you, Bob. You ain't getting the truck.
Sell it.
No.
Color code these things.
Anything else needs to be changed, council? All right, motion to accept the resolution for the finance of the 2006 mid-mount platform fire truck with Keystone Bank, formerly Ballinger National Bank, Ballinger.
With that correction,
With the correction modification to the document.
and those payments are what, Sam?
Don't know the answer. Let's see. Annual 2600684.
5 years.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve that resolution with that correction.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, consider all matters incident and related to approving and authorizing publication of notice of intention to issue certificates of obligation, including the adoption of resolution pertaining thereto. Now, for everybody, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I understand that this is the way the Texas Water Development Board asked us to have it on the agenda for the water finance that we have a timeline of in your packet as well. And what we're doing is we're actually a little bit behind. We're trying to get the financing started for the water project, but we are a little bit behind because of the delay on the contract from Millersview-Doole. But we have to get this started or we will be even further behind.
We have to publish this in the paper 2 weeks in a row. So the next publication will come out, the deadline is this coming Monday. So we gotta wait till Monday to get this in the paper and then gotta do it a consecutive Monday. So that's why we're adopting this resolution now.
So Tommy, certificates of obligation or certificates of money we get without voter approval, right?
Yes. Yes. But with their awareness.
Right, of course. Oh,
So this is just so you can run a paper.
Great.
I'll make the motion we approve this.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense the way they asked us to print that. So. City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on a letter from Gayla Fullerton concerning city finances. Now, the reason that this is here is there was question after the information was sent to Government Capital concerning the purchase of the fire truck. Government Capital turned us down because of our Moody rating. So basically, I visited with Gayla and asked her to send this letter just to let us know, where we at, what we have. What it basically is, it's no different than anybody in the room that goes to a bank. You're gonna go to one bank, they're gonna have a certain criteria. If you don't meet that criteria, they might turn you down. If you meet the criteria, they might accept you. But that's basically what she was trying to tell us, that a lot of people, I shouldn't say people, most cities in the state of Texas are not going to meet the Moody's rating. And Pat had shared something that happened over in Brownwood. Would you like to share that, Pat?
Well, basically, what I was telling the mayor is that in 2008, we had the financial disaster in our banking systems. Basically, from that point on, we had a different Moody rating, much more stricter. And so, for example, they told us that year, we went from having a good bond rating or credit rating to basically a junk bond within a year, because our, just as yours does, your ad valorem tax base does not cover your general fund expenses. Most West Texas cities, their ad valorem tax base is not large enough to fund their general fund. You have to supplement it with your called proprietary funds, which are your water, wastewater, trash, solid waste disposal fees. And so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just they ding you on your credit rating. That's part of it. And so, although she didn't say it specifically here, I know that goes into our rating. And at the end of the day, they view ad valorem taxes as the only quote unquote sure thing. We in fact talked with Moody's for till we're blue in the face. It's always been that way in Brownwood, that we do not have a significant ad valorem tax base, but we get a lot of revenue from water and wastewater and from a landfill. But they don't care where you get your money from. It has to be from your ad valorem taxes. So anyway, those are the kind of issues they look at. It's not just are you paying your bills, like ours, yours or mine, and most of us, they look at whether you're paying your bills and your credit rating. That's not exactly how they do cities.
But Pat, you can't be happy with these ratings.
Oh, no, I agree.
Good credit range, 32 to 40%, and restricted fund balance, which is cash at the bank, we're at 8.6. Cash and revenue, 34 to 45%, good credit range, we're at 12%. And it goes on. Not a good picture.
No. But I assume it's been this way for quite some time.
Well, that would make me want to wonder a couple of things. Why wasn't this brought up in her big audit package she gave us back in the summer, I guess?
It basically was, because basically when I asked her the number, she basically said she's gonna pull the reports.
Well, I read that, I'll try to find it today, just because I'm curious. I was reading through the summary. I didn't see anything about this in there. And then the one sheet piece of paper she gave us says, well, everything's pretty much fine, except for these few little bullets here that are not related to any of this.
Mhm.
I don't remember seeing it, Jason.
See you tomorrow.
July 23rd
Yes.
of this year.
Yeah.
A lot of her recommendations is all she gave us. She didn't tell us any actual problems, and to me, these are problems. So I'm just curious where it all came from, why we had a low cash revenue percentage. And our debt revenue's kind of in the range, I guess, give or take.
Well, it depends on which column we have it in too. I mean,
Right.
Tommy said the Texas water gonna come in, and because of this loan that we're trying to do, we had some things in different columns, and they asked us to change where we had that money in the columns in order for it
Right,
to go
that's some
through
of the
there.
recommendations in the,
Right. And, you know, she was the same way. She recommends us changing some things sometimes in order for it to look differently. I'm not gonna say better, different.
right. Better from auditor's point of view, maybe.
Anyway,
Sam, there could have been a correction made somewhere in the past on this
correction for
journey, this horrible trip.
She usually does during the audit, she makes correction or she asks for it. What are you saying as far as us doing it or she doing it?
You know, I was part of the hiring process for Tom. He's an ethical, wonderful guy. We're blessed to have him and everything. But I would really like for him to start out with a clean slate. If there's anything dastardly in the past, and I'm not suggesting that, I don't want him to get the blame for it.
We don't want it to fall on his back.
No.
That makes sense.
No. And I'll tell you exactly what I said to her when I called her. Is there something that I need to be alerted about that we're not aware about as far as our financial situation?
Well, that's what
And
I was
she
thinking on.
asked why did I ask that question? And I basically told her what had happened. And I basically told her why I called her and what the issue was. And she goes, okay, I understand. And she goes, the majority of the cities in the state aren't going to meet Moody's criteria, nor are they going to meet most of the financial institutions' criteria. So,
Which in fact is what Pat just told us.
right. I mean, Brownwood in 3 or 4 years has a whole lot more money in a different fund, but they still don't look at them being substantial to loan to. You know, it's by their criteria. They're very strict in preventing this from happening.
It's basically they've got the money, but it's in the wrong column.
Exactly. And that's
So
what
it's a bookkeeping type thing.
that's what they look at.
So Tommy, you agree with that or not?
So far, yes, I've looked at,
No. What I suggest, an outside auditor other than Gayla Fullerton. So you'd start off with a clean slate.
We've only had her 2 years, and this is her third.
Hello, Tommy.
we could sure look into that. It would not be a bad idea.
You know, I'd like to ask for an agenda item, but I understand sometimes we ask for agenda items and they get blocked.
Block.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know whether I just heard that. As council members, we ought to ask for something to be put on.
Correct.
Do you know who Hugo Chavez was, Tommy? You're a world traveler.
Hugo
What
Chavez?
does that have to do with the agenda item?
What about,
Hugo Chavez?
yeah, what about you and General Assembly in 2006? What did you do?
Was he not the
He didn't
president?
like Bush.
Right, right.
He called Bush the devil, he didn't trust him, he said he was arrogant, and he's running the world, he'll get everybody in trouble. Bush spoke one day, Hugo got up the next day, he assumed a prayerful position and crossed himself. I'm not a Catholic, if I did that, I'd foul it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said, I can smell sulfur up here from the devil. Anyway, my point is, I was in your office a little bit before you were hired, and I thought I smelled sulfur.
I
So,
understand.
I'd like to go out into the weeds with you a little bit and ask for that outside auditor other than Gayla Fullerton. So, to protect you, in case, just in case, and I'm not suggesting,
Right.
that there might be something there that needs to be looked at. Now, we have an entity in town that's got some trouble going on right now.
Mhm.
I don't want us to be in that position.
I understand.
I'm not suggesting it. But I am suggesting that you get an outside auditor other than Fullerton to look at our books.
Okay.
If the rest of the council don't like that idea, that's fine with me.
I do like that idea.
Well, one thing I would suggest is that if you, have you know what an auditor does for a scope of her work? Like what she does for y'all? Do you understand what she does?
To me, it's an auditor, checking our books and valuing our books. And
Yeah, but it's a lot different than what you think. Basically, they look at our processes of, how Tommy basically, or whoever the city manager is. In other words, do you have protection about handling cash, or your cash handling procedures, backed up to where you don't have one person who's able to steal. But they don't actually look and see if somebody did steal. That's the problem. It is, unless you do a forensic audit, which basically gets into the detail of what Bob is talking about.
That's when you're going to court.
Well, no, I'm just telling you, an independent auditor is what you got now. If you hire an independent auditor, she's gonna start with the same information this lady did. And you won't get any more
So
information.
what do you suggest, Tommy? Nothing?
I suggest that we know what we're at now. I guess what I'm saying to you is unless you're gonna do a forensic audit, you won't know what happened to any money in the last 5 years. You just won't. Not if you hire somebody to do the same thing as Fullerton. You just get to spend twice as much money.
Right,
It's the
to
same
do the
thing.
same thing.
I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just telling you, a lot of times, I know through the years, I've said on many council meetings where people assume that auditors, when they come in and they give you a clean bill of health, everything is like, that's not really true. They look at the big picture items, they take information from the staff. Basically, they'll say they don't examine all transactions, they examine representative transactions. And so therefore, it is what it is. It's basically what you get, what you have to do by law each year to audit your books. At the same time, if you're looking for example, theft or something like that, you'd have to have a much more detailed audit. That's the truth. And so I guess that's part of it is, to me, if you do the same thing, Tommy won't be protected, nor will the city. At the end of the day, you'll pay twice and get the same information you got now.
Well, that was shocking.
That's just not.
Report, the Moody report here says we assigned a negative outlook for Ballinger. And then this thing here, but if we were a citizen, there wouldn't be any bank probably that loan us money without dramatic penalties. And that's on the second page.
Well, I haven't seen the audit reports, but I suspect this has been this way for several years. You might look at all of them, because this basically, it looks like you had a $6,000 revenue decrease was the only material change.
600,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that says the reason for it is because you didn't get a
Grant.
grant.
Right.
And so, whereas it wasn't like the operations fell off or anything
No.
like that. Again, I don't know anything
You didn't
about
get
you.
the grant.
I haven't seen your audits. I've never seen them before. So I think and again, if I'm a betting man, this is probably similar numbers you've been getting. It's just at the end of the day, if you followed, I'm surprised she didn't point out to you have some of these low percentages. Now, I think that's probably a good question to ask.
Correct.
If we were in this shape, why didn't we hear it from you?
That concerns me. I mean, it seems like that'd been in this book, just like this
But
thing.
you need to take a look at your audit reports and see if these information is there.
Do a comparative analysis of audit
Like I
reports.
said,
and
I
see-
suspect this is not I imagine it wasn't a dramatic change in what y'all probably done. And so that, what I mean by that is that, I mean, you're paying your bills. There was no evidence
Are
of,
we paying them? That's the question.
yes, it is.
So I first started out the bills being 60, 89, I mean 69 days late.
I mean, I guess
Big
we pay our
bills.
bills.
As far as I know.
I mean, that's the different, and those are the kinds of things that.
In the
you
past.
ought to look at.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff, and that's something, you know, obviously Tommy can look at those kinds of issues himself, just
Right.
historically look at your ledger.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not discouraging you, Bob, I'm just,
Well, this is, honestly, I've been on council 8 or 10 years, I don't know. 2 years this time. But I've never seen anything like this. I mean, a blow to the head like this is, I mean, it's just pretty dramatic.
Well, I mean, it's possible they didn't disclose it.
Huh?
This didn't get disclosed until we asked about it.
Right.
And with this report was pretty good, I thought. And I look at this and I'm going, that's contradictory.
That's right.
That's what's concerning to me. This makes it sound hunky-dory, and this looks like, use my French, change my words, and it doesn't look very good.
What we can do is a comparative analysis of the audits going back 3 years
Right.
and see, have her compare these percentages, you know, do the same analysis that she did for last year.
Right, give me a chart of trends
And, yeah.
and see where it started.
Yeah.
Maybe we get back to like,
So tell me, do we have a CD that's cashed in?
We did.
How much?
Bonita, how much was that?
100,000?
120
Where did that money go?
years.
They built. So we have to cash in $120,000 CD to pay you.
And that was before me, so I'm not sure.
good idea.
Just so you know.
Which again, that reinforces my point to you.
Yes, sir.
You need a clean slate, buddy.
I do second that.
Okay.
You don't want this monkey on your back for 3
Nope.
years.
And all this is occurring on our watch, by the way.
We will look into where that went to.
I'd be interested in at least the last 4 years, maybe 5.
Yeah.
I'd like to see where it was at the end of the last guys, beginning of the next guys, and at the end of the last guys. So we can see where you stand.
Okay.
Then we need to request that this analysis be attached to any.
Right.
And going forward, you got next year, I want to see this on this report.
I can ask her for that.
Yeah. That is no problem.
And she basically probably gave us exactly what the government allows us to do, and that's what she gave in the report, and then when I asked what she gets it.
Right, right. I mean, it's not, I mean,
Yeah.
that's where she gave it right up, but I'd rather be a little forthcoming, so I don't have to get, like, wondering later, you know, why it wasn't in there.
No, I'm good with that. All right, moving along. City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board for the reconsideration of a variance request from Deborah McDonald to build a carport at 503 North 11th.
Okay, we took this back before, P and Z and, Rick McDonald and Mayor Mr. Jones came to an agreement that, she could get within 3 foot of the property line. And, P and Z agreed and approved it.
And your thoughts?
Oh, I think it's, we've had the issues before, you know, someone has to impose on the setback because she'd never be able to get a carpet. Never,
Because of that rule.
well, you know, when they built the houses back years ago, and they set property lines, you know,
They didn't think about that.
and
Which property is the one on the left of that bottom right picture, I guess, the gray house?
No, Great House is Jones, would be the one to the right.
Okay, so the one on the right's where,
yeah, where the little house is.
right.
Yeah,
And what'd you say I was gonna do, the runoff on his place?
no, it'll go to the front,
Go to the front.
yeah.
So come to the street.
Well, I say we approve it so it doesn't come back.
Again, third time.
It's like the third time.
That's what I said.
Well, P and Z is
Yeah,
recommended.
P and Z's recommendation.
I've already gone through it, and Steve thinks you did this, what, 3 times, 4 times now?
Well,
Don, you were okay with this?
second,
I'm okay with it, as long as you measure from the cement, which is the edge of the property line, to the edge of the first post.
And you're okay with this?
Well, I had measured from the concrete, by his side of the fence, and that I had gone 2.5 feet. Because 2.5 feet, I can actually not worry about pulling in. And since I'm gonna cut a pipe, I don't wanna hit my doors or possibly even run into it.
Right.
Because it's a very narrow drive, as you can see in that picture. I mean, it's narrow, and I'm going from the corner, the back of the house to the front, where the slab,
Yeah.
stops, because I've got I want to protect my vehicle.
I
That's
understand.
just the main
Understandable,
point.
absolutely.
Well, it doesn't sound like we're in agreement.
That's right, that's what I was about to say. There's
No,
some different numbers being thrown around now.
3 feet as far as I wanna go.
Yeah, the variance is 2 feet within the 5-foot setback. That's what they approved.
Correct. That's what
So,
it's written.
are you okay with that?
3 feet from the edge of the cement to the first post.
And that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, that's his fence line, so
Okay.
As long as it's, I'm agreeable with it, as long as it's measured from the edge of the cement.
Okay.
Which is the edge of her property line, not to the edge of that privacy fence there.
Right.
But from the edge of the cement to her first post, 3 feet, I'm agreeable with that.
That's what we'll go with then.
And the water run off toward the street.
Right.
Right, so if you front and back.
I'll make the motion, we approve the building request with the 3-foot offset from the edge of the curb. Is that correct?
Edge of concrete.
Edge of concrete.
For Ms. McDonald at 503 North West.
Right, for Ms. McDonald, 503 North 11th.
Accept the recommendation.
In accordance with the P and Z.
And accept the
What is,
You have to accept the recommendation from planning and zoning.
along with that, so I do accept the recommendation from planning and zoning.
For the reconsideration variance.
Yes.
Okay.
Now you're making me say too
I'm
much.
sorry, I was gonna do it, you took off on it, I was good.
We got it? Bo?
Yes.
All right.
Second,
Second. I should have let somebody else down.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You gonna say something, Rick? No? Okay. All right, consider approval of building permits. The first one, of course, is Ms. Deborah McDonald.
Yeah, 503 left, she wants to build a carport. 12 by 28. Nancy Blackwell. 2101 Broadway, she's gonna build a new house.
Was that one?
About the high school.
What about that? About the house that they had built.
Oh, they're gonna put through the barn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got plans and everything, and nothing.
Yeah.
That's what fancy.
Yeah.
She's an engineer.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which where the bulldozer house down
Mm-hmm.
Hill and Janice Trash
Yep.
at 605 Royal. They want to put in a carport at 12 by 21. They purchased the property beside the house, and that's where they're going to put it. Mark Willingham, 1301 Ninth. Wants to put in a carport. It's about 18 by 21. Sharon Nixon, at 2010 North 6th. This came in late.
Yeah, we don't do that.
He wants to build a 10 by 12 green in the backyard. So that I get to carry the plants in and out.
I have one too, like tomorrow.
Sure you don't have to approve this?
Boy, talk about talking.
It'll be all right. Everything should be up to,
And we'll do the variance in a second.
everything should be fine.
All right. Motion to approve building permits as presented.
Make that motion.
Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Have fun with agreements.
All right, here's the city administrator's bi-weekly report.
Hello, everybody. It's been raining a lot, and yeah, and so we had some really good plans, and we were working on our plans, and then the rain has delayed us a little bit here and there. On 13th Street, we should have been finished by now. We ran into a gas line, and the gas company resolved that issue for us. They came and moved it around. We did have it open last weekend. They came in on Monday and started working. And we had it open this weekend as well. So we're looking at not this weekend, but the last weekend and this past weekend. So now we're back to work. And but we're gonna have to wait on concrete, and we're gonna have to wait on the rain to quit before we can pour concrete. So we're still open. It's open, and we're going to leave it open until we start working on it again. After we get through with concrete, we can go ahead and pave, and it'll be open up. I estimated about an additional 2 weeks to get all this complete. So it's thrown us back probably a month in just the rain.
The rain delay helps with the gas problem, right?
Well, yeah, but
They weren't gonna do a negative first, and you know.
but yeah, they did come up, but everything combined, it's kind of thrown us back about a month, but it's okay. We enjoy the rain, so. I just asked everybody to use caution if they go down 13th Street, because the hole is there. We've got it cordoned off with barricades, but anyway, it's okay to use for now. 14th Street is open. We opened it up 2 weeks ago. We were going to replace the culverts in the road. After we got them cleaned out, we started looking. We can fix those culverts, so we don't have to replace them, which is about $15,000. So we can go ahead and fix them and then repave that area. So it's nice to have that savings. So and we still have ongoing maintenance on the streets. The water creates havoc on our roads, and so we're still filling potholes. I'm not going to say we're fixing them yet, but we are filling them. So to at least keep people from damaging their cars and jarring themselves in the vehicles. Our water department, we're working on Merle Avenue. If you go up 8th Street, you can see Merle we got a big trench down there. We're replacing a water line, a water main. And again, we were going to be finished by last Friday, but the rain has inhibited our progress. So I'm hoping to get Merle fixed by the 26th of October, and possibly sooner if the weather cooperates, which I don't know that it will, but let's see. And we still have our crews working on our general work orders and everything. Our work orders, our street department, our previous period was 74. This period is 89. We still have 10 in progress. Water, the previous period was 123, we got 24 for this period. And the rain has stopped a lot of people calling in for leaks and whatnot. It's hard to tell if you have a leak if everything's wet. So, yeah, if you can move. The man hours, we worked in the last 2-week period, 2,877. This period, 2,579. So we've gone down 10%. I think a lot of it is because of our work orders were way down. And so we didn't have the man hours that we typically have. And same with the overtime. It went down considerably. If you see the next slide, yeah.
That's the wrong title.
Yeah, it's the wrong title there. Current active meters, we got 1,855 for August, and for September, 1,858. So we went up a little bit. Gallons billed, this period, 13,929, 13,929,987 gallons. There's the total dollars billed out, and total unpaid for this period for September is $60,000 that we still need to collect for this month. So, but we have usually we get a lot of collections coming next week, or this week and next week. So this is I don't know if you can see that. What this is, I didn't know it was going to be so small. Our equipment that we have financed, we have okay, yeah. It's our motor grader and our backhoe loader. We will pay that item off November the 5th this year. We have a dozer that we'll be paying off in 2019. Our cop sync hardware will pay off 30 November, no, pardon me. We have a payment coming 30 November. We'll pay it off 2021. The haul truck we bought last year, we have several payments there. It's hard to tell on this screen here, but we'll have it paid off in 2023. Our brush truck, our limb truck, due to pay off 2022. Our vehicles, 2024. Yeah, no, it's our truck.
Oh, trucks.
Yeah. The PD, 2021, we'll pay it off. The body cameras, 2022. And our roller, we pay off in 2019. So we've got and this is just a schedule of payments and when they're due and when we should be able to pay them off. So it's just some information that we have that we'd like to share to the public. And let's see, is there anything else? Okay. Mosquitoes. We don't have to worry about them today.
I have drowned it.
They're all in my house now.
Yeah. We've had the last couple of weeks, our mosquito fogger has gone around town. I don't know if anybody's seen it. Yeah. It comes around on Wednesdays. Yeah. It won't do us much good today, but but we'll kind of monitor that as needed.
What are you spraying?
Malathion.
No,
Yeah. And let's see, we have a request for a proposal out to bid for real estate agent for surplus property that we might have come up. And it will close on 19 October. We have request for proposal for grant administrator. That will also close on 19 October. The grant administrator, we're hoping to get a grant for our roads, $275,000. And in order to even apply for the grant, we have to get the grant administrator on board. So, but once we get that closed, then we can figure out which grant writer we want and go forward with the grant. The deadline on the application is February 9th, so we should have some time to do that. We've found a local vendor to make street signs, so we're working on that. I believe they're going to get a sheet just to kind of give us some samples of what they can do, and then we'll try and start putting up signs here and there, bits and pieces.
Like Ballinger logo?
Yes. Yes. So, and we have a contractor services that'll come up next meeting for dispatch services and yes, firefighting. We're reviewing them right now. So, and that's it. That's all I had.
Awesome.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
Comment.
Sir.
Next time you have a project like 8th Street or any other project, would you at least go out and survey the businesses impacted and get a positive and negative on that thing?
We will.
Anything, I don't care, 8th Street or whatever business there,
Any street.
I understand.
Prior to going on the agenda.
any street, not just 8th.
Prior to going on the agenda.
I've learned a lot on this,
Huh?
I learned a lot on this project.
Did you not do that?
I did not personally go do that, no.
Okay.
But I will in the future, I assure you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving forward. Here, request for future agenda items from City Council. Anyone have anything else to go on the agenda, please? That's yours. Everybody jumps once.
Mechanical code?
Mechanical
Those
code.
are electrical, plumbing, heating, mechanical codes, permits.
Okay.
Couple of permits are having permits to do electrical, heating, air conditioning, plumbing work. Some cities have an inspector that is a mechanical inspector that comes in and inspects your job before and after you're done.
Review mechanical codes
There is none.
/ inspection.
Yes or no?
We have some,
We follow the federal.
yeah.
Yeah, so he does electrical inspections after you get these.
Yep, we have them, we just, I don't know what our inspection process is. We're not gonna adopt brand new ones, we're gonna take what's existing.
Oh, yeah, correct. Just following like the new guidelines that come out or that's adopted by the state or the federal government,
Right,
like international mechanical codes and uniform mechanical codes, 2008 energy codes, electrical codes, fire codes.
I suggest we have a meeting before we put this on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Would that be okay?
Sounds good.
All right, if you would get with me after the meeting, we can set up a date and time.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you everyone for coming in tonight. We're about to go into executive session. Appreciate everybody for coming in and all your support and comments. Have a good evening and stay warm.